Hey there, y'all, and welcome to today's Daily Down and Dirty. My name is Fairlight. Welcome to Airy Fairy Tarot. All right, y'all. So the message today is about a greater connection and purpose being revealed. So the first card, and I just want to say, one of my besties, Maddie, just got me this deck, and this is my favorite deck ever. It's the Dreams of Gaia deck. I wish I had the info out to read to you, but I'll share it again. I love this deck so much, and my original deck was with me when Hurricane Helene hit and I was out hiking and had to get rescued by firefighters, which is embarrassing. And it made it, I kind of was able to save it, but not enough to bring to work. So I'm just so excited to be reading to you from the Dreams of Gaia deck. But anyway, so greater connection and purpose revealed. So the first card that came out is this Eight of Water, and this deck doesn't really follow traditional tarot too closely. It does a little bit. Definitely has the elements, but there's a lot more to it. So this is the Eight of Water on its side. And when they come out on their side, it feels like it could go either way, or maybe you're emerging out of something. It's not quite in the depths of whatever, like in the subconscious. Maybe it's rising up. And looking at this card, these cards are talking so deeply today. The first thing I feel when I look at this card is a sense of joy and expression because of these dolphins right here. Something about the card being on its side made me feel like the waxing of the moon, where little by little, the fullness of the moon, the brilliance, the illumination of the moon gets revealed until it achieves this full moon. And so it does kind of just feel like something has been growing for you. And then, and as it is growing, there's like an emergence. It feels like there's an emergence of psychic ability that could be happening for you, and a greater expression of your joy, but also your truth. So you could have a lot of throat activation going on. Maybe you're getting some sore throats or something like that, or you're just getting a lot of clarity and you're needing to speak your fucking truth. So either way, allowing that to show up, because it really shows this great illumination. Then we got these two cards. We've got this major arcana of a 12, and then we've got the 6 of fire. The 6 of fire in this deck always reminds me of the Hierophant, and this card pulled me in like it never has before. Usually when this card comes out, I focus on these two energies right here, which really feels like it's making friends with your mirror or your shadow even. It's like finding, it's kind of almost a Two of Swords energy, but it feels like a compromise or a diplomacy kind of a thing, and accepting different aspects of yourself. But this time today, I was really drawn in by this figure, starting with the dandelions right here at his feet. And you notice that this person's cup is overflowing, and the water that's dripping down is nourishing these dandelions down here. And then I wanted to go into dandelions. Dandelions are considered weeds by a lot of people, but really they're our allies. You know, what's beautiful about them is that they can't really be controlled. Even with poison, I don't think they can really be controlled, but why would we want to poison this life? They're not weeds, and actually they're edible. They're really good for your liver in the springtime. They help to cleanse your liver. All parts of the dandelion are useful, and I love that there's something about the dandelion, doesn't even have to worry in this instance, like who's going to water it or whatever. It's just naturally living in its own existence, and it receives what it needs. And it may not even be aware where it's coming from. It's just in this state of receiving. And then I was drawn to this person right here, and there was something about his face where, of course, I want to say that's a mask that he's wearing, but then some part of me wants to say, it's not, because his mustache, but then I thought, well, the mask could end there, whatever. There's something about it though, where it says, whether it's a mask or not, somehow this represents this person's true form, where they're truly blended with their nature self, their wild nature expression. Horns are kind of like antennas. They're receiving divine guidance, receiving messages. And then at this third eye is the sun. So there's something about really infusing yourself with nature, with the earth, with the sun, with the stars, all of that, the moon. The moon comes out a couple times in this reading. So again, there's something very wise and wild about this person, and all of this. It's like, and because his cup is, runneth over or whatever. Again, there's something about in this accepting your divinity, accepting your connection to all that is. There's this great wisdom where you bring this duality, and then your cup is overflowing, and you're receiving from places sometimes seemingly unknown, but you just know that you're always provided for. You always have what you need. And then this card on top, I'm not going to spend as much time on this card, even though she's a major arcana, but it does that's where that other moon is. It's so again, and I love that it's like waxing, or it could be waning, whatever. But there's something about that luminous energy, and with the sun, it speaks to cycles, aligning to your own divine cycles, and also recognizing that we do come into cycles of quote unquote mastery. I say quote unquote because we can be masters and then still find that we have so much to learn. So there's always like a humbleness that we want to bring with that mastery, but still there's this great acceptance. Really, it's this acceptance and this learning to receive all that you are, and the great power of the ocean. There's also kind of a balance between the masculine and the feminine here, fire and water. Then we have la 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 la. We've got the 13 of air. We've got the ace of air. We've got the 6 of earth. And then we've got the major arcana 3. And excuse me. And then I was talking about that throat activation. And then here, like I had to cough. I'm getting a throat activation just by looking at that. So I'm going to take these 2 swords cards, because swords actually does represent that communication. It's our air energy. And actually, I think just in this deck, it is air. Air is communication. It's the words we speak, the thoughts we think, the messages we give, the messages we receive. Ultimately, it's the truth. It's our beliefs, our personal truth, as well as new truths emerging. So there's something about her. Like I said, they were calling me in pretty deep this round. Looking at her eyes, she's got these light symbols in her eyes. And then if you see, it's hard to see it clear on the camera, but these are symbols. So it's like light language that's like almost like tattooed with light down her face. So there's some sort of a greater language, a greater understanding, a greater connection. Again, that word connection, to understanding and knowledge and wisdom. It's like giving a very high priestess kind of an energy. And then there's this white owl. I have a strong connection to the white-faced owl. I also want to say owl symbology has really been showing up today. I mean, as soon as I got to the shop today, again, my friend Maddie, Maddie's might be very important to you today. No, I'm just kidding. She had given me a white-faced owl keychain because it really means a lot to me. And it just popped off today for some reason. And then a man came in asking if we had any owl statues. And then she gave me this deck, and I knew the white-faced owl would come out. And sure enough, it did. Actually, I didn't know, but it didn't surprise me when I saw it. So owls might be significant for you as well. Owl energy, what is that? It's always associated with wisdom, for sure. There's something about the white owl, which represents, an illumination in the dark, because owls are creatures of the night. And so there's something about, and then having this vision in the darkness. So again, with the light language and the owl, and then this ace of sword, this ace of air, there's some sort of an opportunity opening up for you about living your truth or communicating yourself in a more authentic way. You could be having a lot of psychic activation that's coming through again, a lot of psychic activation where there are messages for you to share, deeper understandings, deeper ways is finding new ways to express concepts that give it greater depth and dimension. It is like we're moving into a different dimension or something with our conceptions of the universe and of ourselves and our connectedness to it all. So again, there's some sort of opportunity opening up for you to live this truth. And whatever opportunities do arise, I feel like tuning into the way you're receiving the information, I think it'll be a definite, yes, this is clearly the path or not. I want to jump ahead because it does kind of, because then we end with this card, which is another major arcana, and that is 17, where there's these two different doorways open, one leading to the night, one leading to the day. I love all these little beings, like there's this little moth over here, and then there's a dragonfly over here. And I usually feel like with this, sometimes we feel more compelled to go to the unknown road, but the stars, will light our way. Sometimes, sailors would find their sense of direction by following the stars. Maybe they still do. Astrologers find their way by following the stars. So the stars sometimes can be a better guide than a more illuminated path. Maybe we can have a clearer vision of which direction we want to go in. But, that's not to say don't go on the illuminated path. If something is truly highlighted for you and you know clearly, yep, that's the path for me, then definitely take it. And it's fun. I was going to end with that one, but I kind of like to give that one as a precursor to this energy here, because this person is clearly going on a journey, but what he's moving away from. And so when it was talking about opportunities opening up here, a doorway opening here, and here we've got two doorways, about living your truth, I think there's a need, and that's maybe why this card was on its side. There's a need to disengage yourself from the past paradigm. There's a need to disengage yourself from the belief system where you have to yoke yourself and bind yourself to systems of oppression to have any sort of abundance. And you see that the unlocking, the key to set himself free, he hangs it around his own neck, and you see that it's right at his heart. I also like that the key is in front of his heart. The lock is right at his thymus and right above his voice. And so there is some sort of an unlocking when you tune into what is truly in your heart and then you speak your truth. There's something about that. And then always I like to tell people to tap your thymus and attune yourself to solutions whenever you're faced with challenges, or attune yourself to affirmations about who you know yourself to be, and knowing that you can align yourself to your greatest expression of truth. So much, it's a great expression of truth. There's a brand new journey opening up for you, I tell you what, but it is going to require you to release yourself from the bondage of belief systems of oppression. And so with this card, it's interesting to me. It always feels like the sun is going behind the mountains. I mean, we could say that the sun is rising, but I live in the mountains. I'm from Colorado. I now live in Asheville, North Carolina, and the sun going behind the mountains is always about the sun setting. So it does feel like the sun is setting on an old day, and he is going into the night. He's going to allow the stars to lead him forward on his path. And you see that he's not alone. He's got his companion here. That could be a wolf. It could be or a husky or whatever, but we'll say it's a wolf. It's the wild nature. It's his own wild nature calling him forward. And then I love that here, you can't quite see it, but there's a bag of money kind of hidden, but it does kind of feel like there's hidden resources always waiting for you. When you say yes to the journey, the hidden resources will always show up for you. And here is probably a map rolled up to give him greater clarity about, sometimes we have to just let the stars lead us forward, but sometimes we can study the map being a metaphor. You can have a clear vision of what you would like to do now that you've identified, like say you identify that you want to play music, you can get clearer ideas of what that will look like for you and how, kind of what you're going for. don't be too attached to outcomes, but it's good to have like a map, you know what I mean? So, but then also allowing your wild nature, following your instincts as well. And the instincts, it feels dominate just a little bit. So it really feels like listening to your intuition. Again, it feels like you're going through a major, psychic activation right now, a great activation of your voice. And sometimes that does come part and parcel with things coming to the surface that we have to work through and process. And that's not the fun part. What's beautiful is that once you process it through, then you've transmuted it. Then it doesn't have to hold you back anymore. It's no longer blocking, it's just flow. And then the scary thing is to say yes and to move forward into the unknown. But you've got this. All right, my name is Fairlight. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like a reading for me and you happen to be in the downtown Asheville, North Carolina area, come on into Instant Karma. It's a one-stop hippie shop. Get some clothes, cute fucking clothes, hats. I didn't get this hat here, but whatever. Tapestries, candles, crystals, all kinds of other cool stuff. So come on in, and if you're not here, then you can find my Calendly link. I'll link it somewhere, and you're welcome to hit me up and get a reading online. All right, that's all I have for today. Peace and love until next time.